Hi, guys. Today I have a guest that I'm super excited about. I've been wanting to interview Deepika for some time now, and so I'm so grateful that she made the time to come on and share with us her journey of what has led her up to being the CEO of SoulSparks Press. Hi, Deepika. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to finally be on here together with you. Deepika and I met through the Kathleen Inner Circle program. And she is a powerful woman, powerful manifester. And Deepika, do you mind taking us back a little bit to what your life was like before Kathleen Cameron's program?
I think I was somebody who knew how to create in my own life. I was already absolutely, totally, and completely doing that. So maybe taking you back a little bit further than that
Yeah.
moment and then bringing you to that moment. I was this person who did everything right in their life, right? I was the kid who listened to her parents, who got good grades, who did well in school, who got into a good college, did well in college, who got the great job out of college, got promoted again. I was just one of these people that did exactly what society, my parents, teachers, TV, Hollywood, Bollywood told me was needed to live a really good life. Then when it came to finding a partner, I dated like it was a professional sport. I was like, I can conquer this one too. Got married, had the house, had the kid, had the life, right? Anything anyone would say objectively you should have to be considered a success, I absolutely, totally, and completely had. But
Wow.
then at 40, I found myself crying in my closet, wondering why, if I did everything right, did everything feel so wrong?
Wow.
And side note, I don't know why there's so many movies and books about women crying in their closet. I mean, I think it's the only quiet place women have to break down in their own homes.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I just knew that I was not going to wake up at 50 feeling the way I felt at 40.
Good for you.
And for me, I made this conscious decision that I was going to change this life, but I had no idea how. And my book, Hello Universe, It's Me, I described this period of time in my life where I scheduled a breakdown, manifested a new life, and help you guys do that too. This is the book.
Yay.
And it just did this award. So
Wow.
I wrote, yeah. So I wrote the book. I brought it to the world. I started winning awards. The book kept opening up new rooms for me. And somewhere in late 2022, I realized that I was in the wrong rooms. So all these amazing things were happening. I was growing. I was developing. I was coaching my own clients. I was doing corporate workshops. I had been offered a TV show in Australia. Amazing things were going on. But I was like, I'm in the wrong rooms. I'm in the rooms where people are surprised by the things that I'm doing. And that's where Kathleen Cameron comes in. I think I manifested her into my life because I was like, I need to be in the right rooms.
Yeah.
And she had a community of powerhouses doing what I was doing. I was not the anomaly. I was kind of one of many women doing these
Yes.
things. That's the point I meet Kathleen Cameron.
I love that. Thank you for that backstory. That's so wonderful. And that, man, there are so many women that that can identify with your story, crying in their closets, having it all, but not feeling satisfied or fulfilled, or just feeling like they're living somebody else's life and journey.
Yes.
That's crazy. So how did you take yourself from that moment to writing this amazing book? Like, how did that happen?
Books are the most beautiful expression of healing and creativity that I think the world has to offer. And the book started formulating in my mind months and months before I was brave enough to put any word on paper. And even what was coming through me as the writing process started, I think was completely connected to the divine, right? It was beyond what I imagined I was going to write, and it had an impact beyond what I ever thought it would have. And I say all that to say that I don't know that it was a decision to write a book. It was yet another one of these things of the universe sort of saying, you are going to do this. And it became this story in my head that I almost was like, okay, I'll write it. And it was just because all the
Wow.
resistance was there to writing too. Who would read this? You've never written a full book before. How will you get it published? Nobody is going to like it. You will have wasted all this time. But
Oh my gosh.
conquering all those doubts, yeah, to get to the point that I could actually write it. And writing is healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yes, writing is healing. And like you said, creative expression all in one. So what a beautiful activity. So then take us from there. I mean, I'm super intrigued, and I know that there's so many people that can identify with this. So you had all these self-doubts, the inner voice, the chatter. What was your life situation like at that time? I mean, a busy mom, I'm sure. You were in the corporate world? How did you find the time to even sit down and start writing this book? And then, how did you calm those voices?
Yeah. Yes, I was very busy. I had a young child at home. I was going through a divorce or finishing up a very lengthy, difficult divorce process. I was a Silicon Valley corporate executive with an extremely demanding career. And writing became my outlet. It became my therapy. It became my moment where I was really allowed to share as fully and completely as possible all that I had gone through. And the pandemic was a big help. The book was 75% written by January 2020.
Oh, good.
In fact, I have a picture of me on the beach in Mexico with a big stack of paper editing the book. When the pandemic hits in March, I couldn't watch the news. I couldn't be inundated with the information. And I didn't want to be lost in fear all the time.
Yeah.
So on the weekends when my daughter was with her dad, I would just go into these beautiful writing cocoons. I couldn't go anywhere. I was home by myself. So I was able to finish the book and elevate it during that time. But I think for me, it was just creating the space. The space was creating itself almost too, right? Because for me, it became such a healing portion of the day, like the way somebody might go to the gym and work out, or somebody might go to their therapist. I had my writing to go through and really process what was happening to me, but to do so in a way that was going to be so relatable to women like me out there, women and men. The surprising part about Hello Universe to me is how deeply it resonated with men as well.
Nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when you started writing this book, did you already have a preconceived notion of like, and here I am at the end, I've conquered this and this and this, or were you just like kind of journaling and then I haven't read the book yet. I want to read it now. Because I don't, what was at first you were pouring out your thoughts and your soul. Hello Universe is me, right? That makes sense. But then what was the end goal for the book? Or did that just happen organically?
There was none. I don't think I had an end goal. I knew I was going to write it. That was the objective. But, in manifestation, we say, hold the vision of the end result.
Right.
No, I didn't do any of that because I think I was so present in the moment of this writing experience to get this story out and to do it well, that I did not spend any time thinking about what happens when the book comes out. When the book was a reality, the covers are made, the pages are designed, and you actually have to sort of hit the button for it to be out there in the world. That's when I freaked out. That is when I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm not going to share this. That's when my own inner hater or inner saboteur, that voice within, got so loud. It had been loud at various points before too, leaving the marriage, having to leave the home that we stayed in, starting all over again financially, from scratch.
Yeah.
And in the writing of the book process, all of those moments of my life, all of them had my inner hater loud and taking center stage, right?
Yeah.
But I think the more I learned to quiet down those voices, the more my inner champion was able to come out and go, no, we got to do this. This is what we're here to do. And honestly, once the book came out, I've never looked back.
That's amazing. So it really was a pivoting point in your life. It like changed the whole trajectory for you.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's awesome. Okay, so you know how most books start off with a problem and then the journey and then at the end the solution. Is yours built on that same formula? Or, I mean, because you're writing it in real time, it sounds like. So I guess that's kind of what I meant by the ending. Like, um, does it end with a happy ending, or is it kind of like I mean, don't give it away, of course, but like, it, did you have a goal in mind to wrap it up to inspire the audience, or, you know, I'm just
I
curious.
don't think I knew Yeah, I don't think I knew when I started what the book was going to be or how it was going to impact people or if it even would.
Yeah,
What
okay.
I wanted to do was take people through this scheduled breakdown that I had, right? And I wanted to show people how you could step into these concepts of spirituality if you are a total type A personality like me that has trouble believing in all of these things. And I
Yeah.
had read hundreds, I mean, gosh, you name the book, I had probably read it, whether it's Deepak Chopra and Michael Singer, anything Oprah did.
Yeah.
All of these thought leaders, I was reading their books for years. I was into astrology and psychics, but I did
Mm.
it all from a place of entertainment, not from a place of this could possibly change my life too. I would read those books, I would be inspired in the moment, but I didn't know how to make any of those concepts apply to me in my everyday life. What I attempted to do in Hello University and what I think I have done is create a blueprint for you to follow to try all this spirituality, to dip your toe in the spiritual waters and see what works for you. And that I gave people permission that even if you have a lot of what I like to call little T traumas, the big stuff maybe didn't happen to you, right? But the little things of just playing small and feeling hurt and not using your voice and not being able to speak up for yourself or not living in the fullest expression of yourself, settling in life in a way that you know you should not have, all of those little T traumas
Mhm.
can add up and create a big T trauma for you. That's what my life was, right?
Make
It was an underselling of myself constantly, even when I knew better.
mm,
So in this book, I give people permission to see themselves in me because you'll see people say all the time, well, it's not that bad. It's fine. It's okay. My husband's all right. My job is okay. My house is good enough. Like we do
yeah,
this, right?
yeah, for sure.
And I certainly did that. Because objectively speaking, I had everything, yet I still had this feeling, this sensation that there was more to all of this. And this is me giving myself permission and in turn giving the reader permission to explore that for themselves as well. So I don't like to think that this book follows a typical trajectory of books, but
Mhm.
I do like to think that this is a book that if you're wanting to figure out how to make a change in your life. Like you can feel that something needs to be different, but you don't know how to give yourself permission to go there. This is the book that's going to support you in being able to explore that more fully for yourself.
I love that. Thank you for explaining. That's exactly what I was trying to understand.
Mm.
So that's wonderful. People can go through this journey with you by reading this book and help get themselves out of that stuck place that they feel like they are in their lives.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I love that. Thank you. Okay. So then you mentioned at one point a scheduled breakdown. Did I catch that right? Did you use that term
That is the subtitle of the book. Yeah, how I scheduled a breakdown and manifested a new life, and how you can too.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. So, okay. So we don't have to go into that because it sounds like this part of what the book is about. Okay. And then
Well, we can,
yeah,
right? Like,
go ahead.
I was not one of these people who could just break down on a random Tuesday, right? My life was so busy, so full that I couldn't do that. Nor could I be like Julia Roberts and Eat, Pray, Love and go run off to Italy or India or wherever she goes to go find herself. I
Yeah.
had a young daughter at home and I wasn't going to leave her to discover me. So
Okay.
what I did instead is I found a way to uh, breakdown in my normal everyday life. It was intentional, it was by
Mhm.
design. I
Okay.
had this overwhelming sensation and feeling that if I could help these huge Silicon Valley tech companies figure out how they could wow the world with innovation, then gosh, what's my life? I could figure out how to fix my life. I could figure out, why am I crying in the closet? Why do I feel like I need to make a change? What change do I need to make?
Yeah.
I knew that in my corporate world, I would go in and do like an as is analysis. What is the situation today? And what would we like the situation to be in the future? So I applied that into my own life and said, okay, let's look at what life is like today. Let me really see it. And
Mhm.
even more than that, let me untangle from all the busyness, all the struggle, all the stress that has masked what I need to experience in my life. So I took it all away. I didn't work. I took email off my phone. I no more social obligations, no more doing things out of a sense of, what are people going to say? I just took it
Yeah.
all away in that month. And instead, I replaced it with the things that I thought were really going to light me up and give
Mm.
me joy. I learned to paint during this time. I would sit at the coffee shop and just stare out the window or
Wow.
journal, right? I went on a silent retreat during this period of time. It was all intentional to remove all the gunkiness of this life, the chaos, the freneticness, right? So that I could
Mhm.
quiet down and show up in this place where I could say, okay, universe, what is it you want for me? And I will tell you, it was like my future self was clapping, like, hey, hooray, she's here. She's going to hear us now. And that's where
Mm.
all the epiphanies, all the messages that I needed to hear started to come through, because you got to make room. You
Got it.
got to make room for newness to land. If you're not making room for newness to land, nothing can happen. And
I
so that's
love
what I did.
that.
That's why I scheduled a breakdown.
I'm so glad that I asked that question and that you ran with it, because that was super powerful. Like you said, who, unless you're single, has the time, the money, the everything to just drop everything and go live in another country for several months and find yourself? Like that
And
movie
if
is
you do,
inspiring, but like, is it real life? You know?
kudos to you. By all
Yeah.
means, please go do it. But that
Yeah.
was not my reality, right? That
Right.
was not what I could do. And I think it's not what a lot of women can do. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's a big part of why this book has connected, because you're allowed to find yourself within your own life. And guess what? You don't have to break down. I always jokingly say I broke down so everybody doesn't have to, but you're allowed to rewire, reprogram, just figure it out
Yeah.
inside of the messy little life.
While
It
still
can
keeping
be
everything together, like still keeping your job, still keeping, you held it together, but you scheduled breakdowns. So where you removed everything and gave yourself time to listen to yourself, listen to your inner voice.
Yeah, I don't know if at the time I would have said I was holding it all together, because if you're going to hear what the universe is going to tell you, that can be something to absorb, right? In your nervous system, in your life. And so I won't say that all the time I kept it together, but I think what was clear for me is I was on the journey I was meant to be on in that moment, in the way I was meant to be on it.
Got it. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. No, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing all that with us. And you would also mention in the story that there was a point in time where you were like doing a financial reset. So did you end up quitting your corporate job during writing the book?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I had stayed with my company until very recently. The financial reset comes as a result of the divorce. And for
Oh,
anyone who's gone through that, I think everybody kind of knows how that can go.
sure.
And for me, that was a big reset moment. But I'm very proud of the fact that 7 years later, after that moment, I was able to officially retire from my corporate job.
Mhm.
Um, I was a partner in a Silicon Valley consulting firm that helps companies to IPO. And I retired from that job, and I am full time now in my passions. I have launched my own publishing company called SoulSparks Press. And I think as of today, we will sign our 40th author who will be writing with us. We're on track to release a book every month of 2025. And it is just all kinds of spectacular in the best possible way. what Hello Universe to me was a soul sparking moment for so many people. It was a
Yeah.
moment that changed them. And I want to bring these sweepingly inspirational stories to life. I want to launch SoulSparks around the world so that readers can feel that moment, can have that aha, that epiphany, that experience that actually moves them into changing their life.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So Soul Sparks Press, how long ago did you start this?
So SoulSparks Press was a beautiful concept that sort of came together earlier this year. And we have been moving a million miles a minute since then through bringing together the most amazing collection of authors with the most beautiful stories. And it's just been incredibly powerful experience so far.
So 40 authors already, and you just started it this year. That's incredible. So yes, a million miles per minute. Sounds about right. And you've even gone on like book tours or media tours. Tell us about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, this year, Hello University was translated into Spanish, and we released Hola Universo Soy Yo in September. It hit #1 in Mexico. It was a top new release in Mexico for 6 weeks, a top 20 new release in Mexico for
Wow.
6 weeks, which was very exciting. And we did our book tour. We were in Miami for our first stop, and we were in Mexico City for 2 events. And we were very fortunate to be meeting with so much press in Mexico City, TV, radio, newspapers, and the message was just so beautifully received in Mexico.
Good.
It is a story that I think is truly universal, and it truly applies to people all around the world. And our experience, being in Mexico and how everybody responded to it was just exquisite. Interesting fact, I just looked this up the other day. The Spanish edition has actually sold more copies than the English edition has.
That is
So
so cool.
pretty popular.
I love that. So then are you planning on doing book tours and opening up the book to other languages as well, maybe Europe and other places?
Well, why not? Why not? I have a
Yeah.
vision of that. But when we originally released Hello University to Me, we did it with a beautiful book tour in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Um, it was these beautiful outdoor intimate events where people were able to connect at people's homes and coffee shops and wineries, and it
Nice.
was just exquisite. So book tours, helping authors create their book tours is also a big part of what we're doing at SoulSparks Press.
Nice. Okay. Is this book available on Audible?
Of course it is. Yes, I
Good.
recorded the audiobook and it is beautiful in every possible way.
So it's in your own voice. You're the
Of
narrator.
course. Of course.
Love that. Oh, love that. Okay, good. And then what is something that you are wanting to attract into your world right now for Soul Sparks Press? Are you attracting more and more authors? Like, what is the next vision that the universe can
Mm.
conspire to help you with?
People already say that SoulSparks Press is the next Hay House. I like to say we're the first SoulSparks Press. We are here to disrupt the publishing industry, create more opportunities for authors to bring their sweepingly inspirational stories to life. So, yes, am I calling in more authors? Of course. I'm calling in more bestsellers. I'm calling in more media opportunities for authors, creating all of that. More than anything else, I am here to be a vessel to bring your sweepingly inspirational story to life. And honestly, there is no better thing that I can feel for myself right now than being that.
That's that's beautiful. And the world is so full of uninspirational stories, the news and stuff like that. And so what a calling, what a beautiful gift you're giving to the world to make your entire publishing company around sweepingly inspirational stories. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I think our world can definitely use more of them, right?
definitely. So, for potential partners of your media company that are watching right now, how can they reach out to you?
Come find me at www.soulsparkspress.com. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on Instagram at deepikasandhu.co. We are excited to collaborate with people. And for anyone out there that has a story in their heart and they want to bring it to the page and into the hands of readers around the world, I am here to support you in doing that and making that happen for you.
I love it. So you are willing to work with newbie authors as well.
90%, if not more, of our authors are first-time writers, meaning they've never written anything more than a caption or an article or a blog post. So what we do is help to pull that story out of you in a way that is very doable for you as a writer. So everyone is getting through their writing process in the most beautiful ways, and the works that are coming out are incredible. So yes, if you're a newbie author and you've never done this before, you have a home here at SoulSparks Press.
Oh my gosh. Can you speak to that real quick? I'm supremely curious. How do you help pull stories out of people and take the overwhelming aspect of writing something for the first time? How do you support a newbie author in that way?
Well, we don't make it overwhelming. Who says it's overwhelming? It's only
Right.
overwhelming if you decide it's overwhelming. So
Love
when
it.
I wrote Hello Universe, It's Me, it was overwhelming, right? It took me 18 months. After the first 3 months, I threw everything away and I started again,
Oh
right?
no.
And I was always sort of staring at a blank page, trying to figure out where I was going to take this. I don't want that experience for any of our authors. So what if instead you could do this in a way where you felt so highly supported, where somebody like me was truly extracting the story out of you and giving you the tools so that you could go in and write different scenes and different moments depending on how you're feeling, right?
Mm.
But always knowing where you're headed in that story. So we've carved out a way to do this that is helping authors move through their stories quickly. We've got some authors writing in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is. This is
Wow.
art. Art takes the time that it takes.
Yeah.
But I would rather create this art, this book, feeling hyper supported by somebody that's in your camp, really giving you real-time feedback and helping you learn what you need to know in order to keep writing, but also keeping your heart and your mind in the energy of what the story can create for the reader someday. And that's what we do here. And that's how we're able to take first-time authors, first-time writers into fully published best-selling authors.
Deepika, I surprised myself just now. I actually got emotional listening to you. I got emotional for like all the people out there that just heard how their dreams can come true.
Absolutely.
That was
Absolutely.
so exciting. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you came on today to share this with us. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you just want to share before we wrap this up?
I think the only thing is that everything is possible. Everything is possible. And I will no longer let anybody tell me I can't do something. And what's possible for you is even bigger than what you see. I didn't set out to create a publishing company. It sort of landed in my lap that this is what I was meant to do. So we can manifest what we think we want, but we will receive even bigger than that if we are that vessel to receive. So be in the energy of what is possible, because it is all totally and completely possible.
Yes, I love that. And then also, you said something really powerful in the beginning. It's worth reiterating that well, you didn't say it this way, but this is how I translated it in my mind. You up leveled your circle of association, or you changed rooms. That's what you said. So if you are somebody that has these visions and dreams and you want a better life for yourself, don't be in the room where you are the anomaly. Put yourself into a room where you're surrounded by other people that are doing the same thing and think the same way and are setting higher standards and visions for themselves.
100%. 100%. Get in the right room. Get in the right room. Your seat is waiting for you.
Perfect. Let's end it right there. That was perfect. Thank you so much for coming on today. Happy Friday
No,
to you.
thank you. Thank you for having me. Good luck with all of this.